Hey guys, I'm David Mitchell, founder and CEO of TRADEway. What if God Himself gave you a blueprint for how to handle your money? Well, the Bible is a practical book. Let's dive in and see what it has to say about wealth, about risk, about leverage, and about investing, and uncover how trading in the stock market can be a powerful tool for moving towards your biggest goals. We're so happy you're here. This is The Word on Investing. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Last time we talked about signs that it might be about time for you to talk to a TRADEway coach. Today I want to talk about a similar topic, but it kind of goes into more detail. I want to talk about 5 benefits of having a stock trading coach. All right, the first one is this. If you're ready to quit, in other words, you just think you're no good at trading. Well, if you would just talk to a coach about your last 3 to 4 or 5 trades and let them take a look at them, the coach can analyze your last few trades, and they can hold those up against the TRADEway rules that you should have been following for that particular strategy. Now, here's what the coach will do. He will actually paper trade your exact trades. He won't cheat. He'll go back in time to when the day you did the trade without looking at the days after that, and he will trade that stock as he himself would do it and make note of those things. And then some of the trades he would say, well, I wouldn't have even done this one because it's not a pattern. I don't recognize a pattern. Well, that's good information for you to learn too. So that's what will happen. They'll actually trade those trades in the past just like they would have done it. They will compare that to how you did it and make notes of the differences. Now, that sounds kind of critical, I know, but it's really important because it's not just to be being critical of you, but it's to show you if there are any of the rules that you actually already know because you took the courses and you know the rules, but you just forgot them, or maybe you're breaking them and don't even know it. It will make those things, it's just like putting a spotlight on those things. And all of a sudden you will go, oh man, I can't believe I'm doing that. I know not to do it. Didn't think I was doing that, but I see that. And all of a sudden you'll see that it's not that you're a bad trader. It's just that you had one little rule there you weren't seeing, you weren't catching it. And that can be fixed in just 10 minutes, really. It's really amazing. So they're going to paper trade your trades. They're going to compare what they did to what you did. And then they're going to compare the return on investment over the 5 trades that they made versus what you made. And a lot of times, invariably, you might have lost $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on all 5, all together on those trades. And the coach made $2,000. Maybe 3 of the trades they would not have even been in, so they didn't lose any money on those, and the other 2 they made money. But it's great to look at that, and it will really encourage you and let you know it's not about you being a bad trader or a person who can't trade. It's not about the market moving against you all the time because it hates you. It's none of those feelings that we get in our minds. It's just one little bitty rule, but a very important rule that you didn't know you were breaking, and they can point that out so quickly by analyzing the last few trades that you've done. So please give them the opportunity to do that, and it's for the sake of you and your family. I mean, this can affect your family going out into the future. So don't be real quick just to get down on yourself and think you're no good at this. Let's take a look at all the things you already know and make sure you're doing them properly first. And you wouldn't believe how many people this has helped. So usually you'll see it's not that you're bad at this. It is that you're breaking perhaps one rule, but you're doing it consistently, and you just need to make that one adjustment. Isn't that great? So make sure you get with a TRADEway coach when you feel discouraged, especially if you're new, and let's make sure what the problem is, and I think we can fix it. Here's another benefit of having a TRADEway coach handy is that maybe you've gotten fearful because you've lost money on the last couple of trades, maybe 2 or 3 in a row where it just went against you and you had to take an expense. The market seems to know what you're doing, and it does the opposite right when you jump in. So many people, including myself, have had that feeling before. Of course, it's not true. The market doesn't care about us. So here's what the coach will do. He'll point out that the market doesn't care what you're doing. You have to learn to dance with the gorilla, and you're not the gorilla. The market is. Now, let me give you an example of what they might point out. They might point out, well, is it true that you're trying to make a certain amount of money per month by trading because someday you'd like to fire the boss? That may be the case for quite a few people, right? And so you think, okay, what I have to do is I have to make some money every day or at least every week. So then you force yourself to jump in the trades that aren't really very good trades. Because here's what you have to do. You cannot do a trade because you need money. What you do is you look at the market, you look at the market tone, and you ask yourself, is the whole market, including the news in the world and all the things we teach you to think about, market tone is what I'm talking about there, is all of it saying this is a great opportunity? In other words, you need to almost feel like your play can't not work. I know that's bad grammar, but it's pretty good preaching. Okay, so you need to feel like it can't not work. Now, we know that you never really know for sure the future. So I'm not saying that, but it's a feeling. It's a feeling that you've done the right analysis. You're making an educated hypothesis of the direction this stock's going to go, but it is educated and you believe in it. And so then you do the trade, and that may not happen every week. So you can't necessarily say I'm going to make money every week because I need money. That's the wrong approach. You need to let the market show you when there's an opportunity and then pounce on it with all the rules. And a coach can help point out if maybe that's your mistake. You're reaching for trades that aren't that good. Usually the signs of it is it won't be a great pattern. You got a bad buy point. Those are the two keys. And they'll see a pattern of that and they'll realize what you're doing is you're just trying to trade every day. Sometimes it's because you're addicted. It's so dang fun, right? So you just want to do it every day. You got to get over that. You do it when the market shows you an opportunity. Now, the cool thing is when you know a lot of strategies, there are opportunities almost every day. So even when the market's moving down, if you know how to do puts, you can buy a put, right? If it's moving sideways, if you know step 3 and step 4, you can do spreads. So as you grow, you have more opportunity. But as a new trader, you got to be really careful because basically you're doing up trades. You got to make sure it's an opportunity for an up trade. And that's something that coaches will spot very quickly. Now, here's a little bit different angle on it, is sometimes it comes down to understanding two things and how they relate to your trade. The first is the fundamentals of the stock you're trading, and the second is market tone. And by that, if you're doing an up trade, you want this to be a company that has strong fundamentals. They have great leadership. They have great products. The products are still loved. And, their earnings per share are going up double digits quarter to quarter, those kinds of things. Well, if they're in the founders list that we provide, then they are having double-digit earnings reports going up quarter to quarter. And so they're growth stocks, and that's a good thing. So that work's been done for you. But you got to grab them out of those founders lists. I see so many people that just want to go out and pick a stock. Maybe their charting software throws out a group of stocks. Don't do that at first. We've analyzed the fundamentals for you, so grab them out of the founders lists. Now, the other thing is market tone. When you get where you really love this, you want to trade every day. Guess what? We're not day traders. We don't advocate that. You don't need to trade every day. You need to trade when there's an opportunity. Most of those opportunities for up trades, which is what you learn as a beginner, happen when it's sort of a happy day in the market. Well, your market alerts will tell you if that's the case or not. So get up and read those early in the morning and check out the futures. Are they positive or negative? You can Google that and figure out how to do that yourself and do some of those things and make sure you got the market tone saying go, you got the fundamentals saying go, and then when you're looking at your chart, it's just now bouncing up off that support line like it should be, and it says go, so all three legs on the table are there, and you pull the trigger. The coach is going to help you find any of those areas that you're skipping or forgetting or just bad discipline and you're not doing them, and they can help you correct that very quickly. All right? Now, the next benefit that I see a coach can help you with is if you're a person that's just barely breaking even or losing a little bit, even though you think you're pretty good at picking stocks, they can really help you with this because the first thing they're going to look at are your buy points. Now, we talked a little bit last episode about how they can analyze 3 or 4 or 5 year last trades, and that's probably what they'll do, and they're going to look at your buy points because it's so easy when you're new at this to see a beautiful pattern. I mean, you get pretty good at recognizing the patterns pretty quickly, and you see this beautiful pattern, and the point is you draw your support and resistance lines, and that thing bounced up 3 days ago, so it's already moved up 3 days from the perfect buy point, and you say, it's so pretty. It's still got $3 of profit left. I'm going to jump in there. And you don't really realize that that's breaking a rule because you're not thinking about what we taught you about the perfect buy point, right? So you just say, well, but there's still money there. So I'm smarter than the rules. I think this will work because I see there's still $3 there. And so people think like that, and then what happens is, for whatever reason, it starts to move down, and your stop out point is so far down there now that you lose more than you should on your stop out. And, on the other side of that coin is maybe it does go up and it makes $3, but you needed to make $5 to make your win big. You need at least 30-40% win if you're going to have 10% losses on your stop outs, or you won't make any money. So, that is so important. They're going to help you see that those buy points are lousy over your last 3 to 5 trades, and that's so easy to fix. When you see a play where the stock has already moved up from the support line too far, you have to have the discipline to say, no, I'm not going to do this trade. I'll do it next time it gets ready, or I'll go find a different stock that's ready today. Now, the other thing is, these bad buy points affect your stop outs more than you'll ever believe, because really, once you get to step 2, you learn what we call the advanced stop out. And usually it means that your stock is going to need to move below, slightly below, and close below your support line or an important moving average line before you even think about stopping it out. But if your buy point was too high, that line is way down there from where you are. And then when it does stop you out, you might lose 20%. And that's way too much to lose in your stop outs. Because if you're only making 30%, you stop out 20 to 30%, you can't make money over a 3-year period. The math just isn't there. So the buy point affects your stop outs. It also affects your profit because the distance between where you bought and where you sell it is smaller. So it's huge. I mean, it hits you in both directions. And you've got to get really good at that. Now, the coach is going to spot it in about half a second if your last 3 to 5 trades have bad buy points, and they're just going to tell you, hey, let's work on this. And you'll find out you're not a bad trader. You were just breaking that one rule. The other thing would be maybe you have a problem with fear. And the way that our coach is going to figure that out is he's going to see that you're jumping out of these trades about halfway up the range consistently instead of letting it go all the way up to near the resistance line. And it may be because you saw it pull back one day and you said, you know what, I'm just going to take my profits. And that's fear. So you're letting fear tell you when to take profits. That will not work, especially not over a 3-year period. So, the coach will notice it. He'll see it instantly, and he'll talk to you about it and help you with that. And the other one is greed. It gets up to your sell point, and you say, well, but I think things have changed. Everything's so great in the world, this is going to go up another $10. I'm just going to stay in it. And then it tanks the next day, and you lose the profit you had. They will spot that in about half a second as well. So these are some areas where a coach can just help you so much, because truly, if you were doing these things correctly, you might not need that coach, but the very fact that you're thinking you're not a good trader, it shows that you're missing something and you're not even seeing it. So if you let this other set of eyes kind of get on your trades, they'll spot it instantly. Let's take care of that. Let's get with a TRADEway coach. The next benefit that I see a TRADEway coach can bring to you is that it can help you have confidence in your very first stock play, or even your current stock pick if you've been trading for a while. Pulling the trigger on your first few trades is really kind of tough. It's kind of scary, to be honest, and it's great to have someone holding your hand, and that's what our coaches are for. They do this all the time with beginners, and they'll get you past that beginner stage where you feel comfortable placing trades. You can take advantage of the live trading hour. It can be a huge help because you can take your ticker symbol of the stock you're about to do, and you got a whole group of coaches and students that can help you see if they would do that trade or wouldn't do it, in which case they'll tell you why. And this is actually done during live trading hours. So, you could get off the thing and actually do the trade right there because it's live. It's while the market's open. That's a huge help to you, especially if you've been trading for a while. Of course, you can always take advantage of a private talk with a coach one-on-one if you need to. It doesn't have to be with a group like that. Now, here's the fifth place where I think coaches can really help. They can help you see if you're matching the proper strategy with the current stage of the market cycle. They can even help you see when you should be in cash and not trading at all. We call that a squirrel market, but that's important to know too. A lot of my coaches like to say this: cash is a strategy, and sometimes it's the best strategy. So these are sort of the parts of the cycle you'll become familiar with as you go, but when you're new, you may not see this, so the coach can really help you with it. And the first one would be the first year of a new bull market. That's the best time, especially for new traders, because you can do up trades. You can buy small dollar stocks like $5 to $10 stocks, Or you can use call options from step 2 and do $50 to $300 stocks. And they're up plays. If you do the call option, that's an up play, just like buying the stock, only you get way more leverage. You can get way more shares per dollar. And that's what you can be doing that whole first year of a bull market. Usually, there'll only be one correction and sometimes no corrections where the stock pulls back during that first year. So it's a really good time. All the stocks seem to want to just go up. So that's great for step 1 and step 2 students. Now, what about the second through the fourth year of these bull markets? Well, there you still see a lot of the great up strategies that you learned in step 1 and step 2. The rolling stocks are still happening. The flag patterns are still happening. And so you can still use buying stocks, buying call options. Great advantage if you learn how to do put options during a correction, because the second through the fourth year are going to have an average of 4 corrections per year. That's one every 3 months, where that market's going to pull back quite a bit. It's good if you know how to do puts for that. So now you need to add puts, which have potential to make money when the market moves down, to the strategies that you know how to do. All right, so what about the last year of a bull market? Now, I'm not saying you can know when it's the last year, but after it's gone 3 or 4 years, you're getting close. Well, sometimes a symptom is the market just kind of goes sideways. It just rolls. And so that would be good for your rolling stock strategy or rolling options, but also for steps 3 and 4, where you learn how to do spreads, because these spreads have potential to make money when the market doesn't even move. Your stock can just go flat sideways and it has potential to make money. And so those are pretty good advanced strategies in step 3 and 4 for that situation. And you find that in the last year of a bull market. We call that a late stage bull, or really what I like to call it, an old, tired bull market. So you got to know, you don't do the same trades you would do in the first year of a new bull. You need to stick with rolling stocks or options, rolling options plays, or you might need to know how to do puts a little bit better, but even better than that, sometimes you do step 3 and 4 spreads. And these are options trades that can have the potential to make money even if it just goes sideways. All right, so these are the 5 areas where I think a TRADEway coach can really be a help to you. And I think it makes a huge difference. In fact, that's one of the greatest things about TRADEway is the coaching system and the live trading systems and educational systems going on all the time. You can take advantage of those. That way we can hold your hand, and you got my 40 years of experience, and all of my coaches are handpicked and trained by me. And when you add their experience, even though a lot of them are young people, when you add their collective experience, it's more than 40 years. So you've got all of this experience right there. Take advantage of it, especially if you're new. And by new, first 3 years, you need to really take advantage of the TRADEway coaches. And it makes all the difference in the world. So we're so happy that we have these things available, and it just it makes us feel great when we see your success. That's what it's all about for us. And so I hope you'll take advantage of it. Now listen, if you like this show, please rate and review it so that people that like the same things we do can find it, and it'll be a big help to them too. Hope you have a very, very blessed day. We'll see you next time.